everybody, and happy Deepavali for those of you that celebrate the beautiful celebration of light. I have been spending the last 4 days celebrating. If those of you that watch me over on Instagram or Instagram stories, I've been in the beautiful island of Bali again, but this time Nusa Dua, as part of the festival, which was an amazing collection of what I feel is my new tribe of conscious people, celebrating lots and lots of ideas of how we can use our strengths and our business ideas to envisage a new future. So in this amazing experience, I actually connected with somebody in an aspect that was something that really resonated with me, and I hope to share with you today, give you some ideas around how you can navigate around this area if it's a challenge in your life or has been a challenge in the past. Yeah, so this is all about the connection of emotions and how they have an impact on our digestion. So how I connected on this was actually, I was speaking to a mother, and I managed to facilitate her having a breakthrough moment. And it was a very aha moment because she was talking to me about some health issues that she had. And if you are somebody that feels that an emotional situation that you've been in or are going through is still hanging around, and you also have health issues, and you're starting to consider that maybe that they could be connected, or maybe you've had a health issue for so long and you've not really considered that it's an emotional issue that might be resolving it. So most people that I see, they have health issues and they go to food and then they go to fitness, and it becomes a real battle of, do I work out more? Do I watch what I eat more? And then they get to a point where they're like, I've done a lot of that and I'm still not resolving the health issue that I have. And it's in these situations where I often find what I'm going to be talking to you about today, which is how our emotions can have an impact on our health, and specifically in this situation, digestion. So this lady was having a real aha moment with me because she was sharing with me as a mother how she had these health issues that she was dealing with, and they were all linked to digestion. And from all of my practices and my studies around Chinese traditional medicine and Ayurveda, I knew a lot about how emotions can impact our digestion. And she was sharing me all these issues and how all the things that she tried, and exercise and food and tests and all these things that she tried. So she'd got to the point where she was really frustrated with not achieving the health goal that she'd had set for herself, and she felt like she'd tried everything. And what I could really see was that she had an awareness of something that she'd said to me that she hadn't worked with, which she said to me that the issue that she had around her digestion and her health issues were around the time when she had her son. So I asked her to take me back to that time, and basically she'd experienced a trauma with him, and that trauma had basically stayed with her and made her feel like a bad parent. And in taking her back to that situation, we were able to resolve an issue around that time that she'd never let go of. That feeling of being a bad parent linked to something that had happened at that time, and she hadn't actually let that go. And it's interesting that if you think about digestion as letting things go, the pun is intended, then you'll understand why if we're holding on to emotional issues or situations that have happened and we've not processed them, then it may be having an impact on our digestion. So what I want to highlight to you is a few things around why that would be. Well, firstly, our gut and our digestion it's also known as the second brain, and that's because the amount of receptors that we have in our gut is like, it's our immune system. And the thing is that when we're working with the gut, we are uncovering a whole world of billions of different bacteria that are all linked to how the gut behaves. And if our gut, if we look at it as a receptors, like we do with our brain, then we'll understand how emotional things can be received in the gut. So the other thing is emotions. Emotions are part of us. And what happens often when people have an emotional situation, like a death, like a separation, like a trauma, it could be anything, any emotional issue that you may have experienced in your life, then what happens is quite often we numb that, and we try to push that down and push it into a dark corner so we don't have to address with it. And that can be like little things. It could be distracting ourselves by other things. It could be the thought comes up and we immediately try to think of something else. But essentially what we're doing is we're taking that emotion, we're putting it into a dark corner. And how that manifests itself in our body is by shoving it into a place. In the same way that when we eat, for example, processed foods, and our body doesn't know what to do with it, then our body stores it as fat. And our body really never gets to that part because we keep on eating other foods, and it never really gets a chance to process and get rid of the toxins that creates in the body from eating those processed foods. So if you understand that analogy, you'll understand it's the same with emotions. By pushing them into dark corners of our body, the body really doesn't allow or get a chance to process it, and therefore we don't really fully allow ourselves to let that go. So if you've experienced any traumas that have been very significant in your life, any emotional situations that have been very significant in your life, and you've done something like watered them down, not tried to address it, put it into a dark corner, then that can manifest itself in the body in terms of illness, in terms of digestive issues. Digestive issues because you've not digested that emotion, and therefore your body may have difficulties, for example, in digesting food and feeling in its optimal state. So I can share an example, and it was the biggest example that I've had in my life that has been able to me to relate to what she was going through immediately, through all the studies that I had, through all the knowledge that I had. When just over a year ago now, I had a huge separation from my long-term partner, and in that separation, I knew how emotions were linked to digestion. I knew how emotions can impact the body. I knew all that, but I also know a lot about food and fitness and all the other things. And I worked really to support my body in being very, very careful with how I treated myself, and giving myself a lot of self-love and really taking care of myself when it came to how I moved my body, how I rested my body, what I fed my body. But even though I had this deep connection to how emotions are in the body, it was very difficult for me to let go and to say to the heart, okay, heart, you're okay, let's move on. It was really hard for me to go through that, allowing the heart time to heal. And in that process, and especially because I'm somebody that moves quite quickly through various things in life, what I came to realize was that by not giving myself the time to heal, that I was pushing my body to repair fast and to move on fast. And in pushing my body to move through the emotions fast, then I wasn't actually allowing my body time to heal. And in that process, what I found in my body was that my digestive system was completely off whack. My digestive system slowed. No matter what food I ate, and clearly I eat very well, I wasn't able to digest my food, and therefore I wasn't absorbing all the nutrients from all the amazing food that I was eating. And therefore I ended up, and some of you may know this, I ended up with, at the start of the year, low iron, low zinc, and anemia. And in the Western world, doctors would say, oh, we'll just eat more red meat. But I already knew from all my knowledge that I wasn't absorbing the nutrients from the food because I wasn't digesting well. And because I wasn't digesting my emotions, my body wasn't digesting the food. And it wasn't until I accepted that it would require time to heal and be patient, which isn't my greatest strength. It wasn't until I accepted that my body allowed itself to heal. Not just my heart to heal, but then my digestion could heal. And so some of you may relate to that. And if you've had any digestive issues, what I would really, really ask you to consider is, what is the emotion that you've not dealt with and you've not allowed yourself to deal with? And how do you deal with it? What you do is, when the emotion comes up, the thought of whatever it is that is a real emotion for you, an impact or can be a positive or a negative emotion. When that emotion comes up and that thought appears, create an awareness around it. Create an awareness that this emotion has come up, and sit there with that emotion. And rather than try to think of something else or distract yourself, sit there and hold it and think through it and feel it. And what you'll find is in that process, you are actually allowing yourself to have an awareness around it and for that emotion to be handled and dealt with. And once that emotion has been handled and dealt with and accepted on a number of different occasions, then the emotion will have its chance to be able to pass through you, and you will be able to let go of that emotion. And in letting go of that emotion, you'll allow your body to heal in whatever way that you want. So I hope you have many ideas around that and how that can help you in your life today. What I would say is that, I would love to hear any emotions that you're having difficulty in dealing with or had experience of dealing with, or how this may be showing up for you right now. And, if you think that this can help either yourself or somebody that please feel free to share this video onto them. Do write in the comments below. And the best way to get more information on any way that I can support you or somebody else with any health issue that you're working through is by my website, 𝐓𝐫𝐿𝐼𝐭𝐞𝐝. If you hop over there, there's plenty of opportunities there for you to connect with me, either signing up for my newsletter or contacting me directly for a consultation. So thank you very much. I hope that's helped you a lot. And, I look forward to connecting and hearing any comments that you have on this topic. Take care. Bye.